removed for integrity and authenticity and misinformation. That is what TikTok said about the video that I'm going to share with you right now. And they gave me an account strike too. So what's the cause of all this? Well, I reported on an article in Medscape about methylene blue. Here's the article here. Methylene blue, miracle cure or dangerous trend. Now, I'm citing my references, which is more than I can say for most people on TikTok and elsewhere who talk about methylene blue. Overall, I think this is a pretty balanced review. They talk about how methylene blue is popular for malaria in the 19th century, and it seems to be gaining popularity again for that condition. They also talk about how methylene blue may have some side effects, especially in people who have a condition called glucose 6-phosphate deficiency syndrome, where it may actually lead to anemia, and also people who take antidepressant medications. And I think that may be why my video was banned from TikTok, because if you've been there, you know there are certain words that are completely off limits, and this is one of those words, the words that begin with the letter D. And I also mentioned, it's actually a comment from somebody who commented on this article, and they pointed out how medication that was made in the 1950s that was derived from methylene blue. And I thought that was interesting because I've done a lot of research on methylene blue and I'd never seen that before. I actually looked at the chemical structure of methylene blue and this medication as well. The molecules actually look very similar to each other, although again, as I rightly pointed out in the TikTok video, subtle changes in molecules don't necessarily mean they're going to work the same way. They also point out that while methylene blue is getting some attention in those who are suffering some memory deficits, it failed to help people with Alzheimer's disease. And I'm going to link to my other methylene blue videos below this one so you can see the results of that study for yourself. Now, I wanted to talk about this Medscape article, not so much about what they talked about in the main article, but it was because of what some people had commented on in the comments section. I already told you about one comment this person had mentioned with that medication from the 1950s, but another person had stated that she had suffered from a condition called Bartonella infection, and she had it for 18 years. She states that after just 2 courses of methylene blue, and she doesn't go into any more detail on what a course is, that her pain in her ankles went completely away. And then there's the most interesting testimonial comment here. It's an individual who says he has a tumor in his bladder. He's gone through some conventional therapies, but then also states that this tumor, which had grown to be the size of a grapefruit, within 30 days of taking methylene blue, he's saying this tumor shrunk to the size of a marble. Now, these are testimonials, and you should view them as such. Right now, the research on these conditions in methylene blue is open to interpretation, but I wanted to bring up to people's attention nonetheless. And the other thing that I always like to point out is this quote from the Stat Pearls website, which states that there is no antidote for treating methylene blue toxicity found to exist. Nobody wants to talk about that, and that includes the doctors and the so-called scientists that promote this stuff online. I'm not selling methylene blue. Rather, I want you to see the research for yourself, and I want you to realize that if you're experimenting with this, I don't know for sure how much would be toxic in a human being, because I'm not a doctor. I don't research this stuff. I just look at the research, but we do need better research on this, and that's why I think caution is in order if you're experimenting with this, because methylene blue toxicity has no known antidote. So whether or not TikTok is going to reinstate my video or eventually ban me from TikTok, you can always find me here on YouTube, where they have never silenced me at all.